Well, Happy New Year, y'all. I hope you guys were able to spend the holiday with family and friends and ring in the new year, not just having fun, but responsibly. But now that it's a new year, I wanted to kick things off with a video series. And as you can see from the title, we're talking about having many kids. And it's a part one out of tentatively 6 parts. Now, it might be seven will be the most, but it's tentatively 6. And we're just going to have to wait and see as we get later in the series if I've covered everything that I wanted to cover. But initially, it was going to be just a one topic, one video. But I had so many clips that I started kind of accruing that I figured it best that I split it up into 6 parts. So I hope you're ready to have this conversation and to talk about this because I think it's really important that we as a society have this conversation. So let's dive in. Now, if I was to venture a guess, I would say that some of you watching are probably asking the question, Alex, why are you talking about a topic of having many kids when you don't have any kids yourself? Great question. And to that, I would say, I don't think I need to have any kids to be able to talk about this. Because what this series is going to cover is some of the lies that couples have believed and bought into why they're not having kids or not having many kids, and then just stopping at like one or two, addressing that, and then also addressing the importance of having kids and why we should have many kids, the benefit of having many kids. So, an outside perspective, somebody who's single, somebody who doesn't have any kids, that wants to have kids, I think is a good outlook to have, and we gotta talk about it. The more people that are talking about this, the better. So, hey, a single person that wants to have many kids that is talking about it, married couples, the more the merrier. But before we even dive into the topic and cover that, I want to lay the foundation, and that's what this video is going to be about. I want to address some stuff, a starting point to jump off of going into the future videos. So with that, I want to address IVF and surrogacy. Now that's a hot take. Some of you are already probably gripping the handles of your chairs that you're sitting in, the table, or at least just tensing up because you're like, oh great, I know what he's about to say. He doesn't like it. He doesn't like IVF. He doesn't like surrogacy. You'd be right. I don't. I don't agree with that. Now, you also might be thinking, but wait. Before you even get any farther than that, I already know what you're going to say. You don't like it, but what about these people who can't have kids? Huh? What about them? That they want to have kids, but they can't. And they want to use surrogacy or IVF. I mean, you're talking about having many kids, and then these people that can't have kids, they're going this route, and you don't want them to go this route? Hold on, hold on. There is always, uh, you know, exceptions to this, but I want to, like I said, lay the foundation. So I want to address overall IVF and surrogacy. Now, the reason why I'm not a really big fan of IVF is because it kind of feels like you're playing God. God instituted marriage. God instituted and told us, he gave us the command in the beginning to be fruitful and multiply. And then after the flood, he gave the command again to be fruitful and multiply. But he is the one that gave us the command to, be fruitful and multiply. So by us going the route of IVF, where you're trying to put things together and create an embryo that is viable and then implant that, it almost feels like you're playing God. And with surrogacy, the cost of surrogacy, again, like you have couples I know that have medical issues that can't have kids. I would say to that, pray to God, ask Him to heal you of these complications, get your prayer warriors around you, and have them pray over you as well. And if the answer is no, I mean, there's always adoption. You can adopt. And you might be sitting there thinking to yourself, no, 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 no. A lot of people want to have their own kids. They want to have their own kids. But let's think about this. With surrogacy, I'm going to put a screenshot up on the screen how much it costs on average. That's a lot of money. And so now what happens? First of all, marriage is between a man and a woman. And this whole having kids is supposed to be an intimate act between a husband and wife. Now, with IVF and with surrogacy, it's become a business. It's become a business. And now, same sex couples can hire surrogates to have them have kids because they obviously aren't in a relationship where they can have any themselves. So, not only are they living outside of the will of God because they're in a same sex marriage or relationship, but now they're paying for somebody else to grow a baby for them. Now, this surrogate is going to grow a baby for 9 months, deliver this baby, and then this baby is taken away from the mother because there's a bond that forms when, you know, a baby is being grown inside a womb. There's a bond that forms, and it's kind of ripped away and given to this stranger couple that just paid money to hire a surrogate. It's become an industry for profit, for money, and it's discarded and just like thrown away the fact of what it was initially intended for. Initially intended for, outside of God's design. You know that there is women in the Bible that were barren that prayed to God for kids, and you know, if you gave me a kid, I will dedicate him to you, and all of this stuff. God opened their womb. God shuts wombs of certain women in the Bible and opens wombs of others. Pray to God if you want to have a kid and you can't have a kid. If you have medical complications, pray to God. And if you're sitting there thinking to yourself, what about if we don't believe in God? What about us that aren't Christians that want to have kids anyway? Are we going to pray to somebody that we don't believe in? I think then there's a bigger thing that you have to focus on besides having kids then. Maybe you need to search the scriptures and find out really that God is real and that He created human beings and He wants a relationship with you because He's the one who created us. Whether we believe that there's a God or not, the fact remains that there is a God and He created human beings and He wants a relationship with you. So if you're not believing in God and wanting to have kids and trying to go this route of IVF and surrogacy, that is not God's design. That is not God's design. I truly believe that IVF and surrogacy, you're trying to play God and you're trying to take matters into your own hands. And we shouldn't do that. So these videos that I'm going to be doing, that I'm going to be talking about having many kids, I want to lay that as a foundation, that I'm talking about the natural way that God designed. A husband and wife in a marriage coming together in an intimate fashion, having kids, having many kids. There are certain exceptions, I get that, of couples that are together that want to have kids, that can't have kids, and they go the route of IVF and surrogacy if they have the money to spend. But that is not God's design. And I would caution to have you jump right into that. If you've been trying for a while and, it hasn't been happening, then perhaps it's maybe something in the food that we're eating, something in the medications that we're taking. Ask God, dive into prayer, ask God to heal you of any sicknesses that is preventing you from having kids. Talk to Him. Let Him know your goal is to obey His command of being fruitful and multiplying. And you would like to do that, so if He would bless your womb. And for those that don't believe, like I said, you have a bigger situation in front of you then, because whether you believe it or not, the fact is he did create human beings. The Bible is very clear, and science proves the existence of God. So I think that's something you have to wrestle with some more. And don't just jump right into, well, we can't, we've been trying for a year and we can't, so maybe time to look at surrogacy or IVF. Don't play God. Talk to God. Ask God to help you in this. And if His answer is no, like I said, there's the route of adoption. There's a route of adoption. And if that's not something that you want to do, if you want to adopt, then perhaps maybe just keep praying, and if He doesn't want you to have kids, if that's not God's will for your life, then find out what His will is, because not everybody is called to have many kids. I also want to mention that not everybody is called to have many kids, but having many kids is so beneficial and so much more rewarding than this lie that society tries to tell us as couples, as husbands and wives, the lie that they try to have us believe. So that's what I want to tackle next week, is the lies that couples tend to believe. I want to address some of that. So here, I just wanted to lay the groundwork and the foundation and talk about IVF and surrogacy. Well, I believe it's wrong, because I feel like we are playing God when we do it that way. And if you truly look at the underbelly of that industry, the IVF and the surrogacy and all of this stuff, when you truly look at the underbelly, yes, you have surface levels where it's couples because they can't conceive, they go that route. But that's not the majority of the industry. If you did a deep dive into that industry, you'll be shocked at what you might find. So I hope this laid some good foundation, groundwork for what we're about to discuss. And I hope you will tune in next week to hear about what are some of the lies that we tend to believe and that we're sold. Some of these couples, husbands and wives, are sold about, having many kids. And I hope you're ready to just dive deeper. So until then, you guys stay safe, be blessed, and keep praying about this. Until next week's video, just be praying about this topic. As I start addressing these, start praying about them, praying that God will reveal stuff to you. He will show you the good reasons why you should be having kids, and reveal to you probably the lies as well, so that you're your eyes are open to the lies that you've been believing. So thank you guys for watching. All my socials will be in the description below. And until next week, stay safe and be blessed.